So then just press the go button on both, Kayla. You ready?
Yes.
All right, we're ready.
Like now?
Yeah.
Yep. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Q&A this evening. We're live on both Instagram and Facebook, and we're so excited to be here this evening. I'm Teresa. This is Mark Anthony. We're the founders of CoCreation, which is an organisation that specialises in personal and spiritual development, and our focus is on using the Theta Healing technique. So tonight is an opportunity for all our Theta Healing graduates or anyone that's interested in learning healing work to have your questions or answered by Mark, where he'll go in, give you some insights into your questions regarding health, regarding money, work, relationships, and finding your soulmate, and anything around spirituality. So we've got plenty of questions this evening, so even if you haven't sent a question in, you'll all have the opportunity to receive an energy clearing session from tonight, as it's a collective energy in which we are shifting energy for everybody as well in relation to people's questions. So we've got heaps of questions. I'll hand it over to you, Mark.
Yeah, look, I'm really excited to have this opportunity to spend this time with you all and to be able to give back and allow people to have the opportunity to get some insights, from myself in relation to, the issues that are happening in their lives. I've been absolutely blessed to be able to have had like an incredible healing with Theta Healing. And not only that, I mean, I've dedicated the last 17 years of my life to it. And so, without being in a space of ego, like I've actually gotten pretty good at it. And I mean, there'd be something wrong after 17 years if I wasn't good at it. But it's about being able to help other people, and it's being able to offer that to everybody, so everybody has a chance to, receive some sort of benefit, from the gifts that we all have and the gifts that I've been blessed with. And, the opportunities are there for you as well, because this is a really simple technique, and this is all about building your confidence. So the more you practice, the better you get, the more you'll feel confident in your abilities and the more amazing results you'll receive. But all it comes down to is practice. So...
Okay, we've got our first question then.
Yeah.
Excellent. So our first question is from Marianne. Her question is, we have bought and sold houses at least 15 times since 2009. We have moved 10 times within Victoria, local and country, and major moves interstate to Adelaide and Broken Hill. It has affected all of us, especially our 3 children with schooling and friends. My youngest daughter, 16, is still at school in year 10. We've moved mostly because of her husband's work. How do I release guilt for the choices we have made, and how do I get to the place of being settled, because I'm still not? It's eating away at me each day. I'm feeling I'm just existing, not living. I hope this question makes sense.
Yeah, cool. So the first thing I picked up there when I tuned in was like there was a lot of nomadic energy. So, whether it's more yours or probably more your husband's, there's a lot of that nomadic energy, like, needing to move from place to place. And the nomads were beyond like, the concept of a home. Like everywhere was home. It didn't matter where they went. That became their home, and they allowed themselves to, settle and be home regardless of where they are. And so I think that's a lot of the healing that we need to be doing for you. Like, obviously it's really important to release the guilt around all the moves. I know myself growing up, I actually had a number of experiences where we moved house a number of times and going to different schools, etc. That was always a bit of a challenge. But I guess one of the positives that I got out of that was adapting to change, being accustomed to change. And the only constant in the universe is change. If things are gonna stay the same in your life, then you're gonna continue to get the same results. You're gonna continue to have the same experiences. So change is one of the most important things that you can actually allow yourself to embrace and become accustomed to. So what we want to do there is teach you how to recognize like the positive benefits that your children, that your partner, and that you are receiving out of all of the moves that you've made. Knowing how to recognize the positives in each of those moves, and knowing how to allow yourself to recognize like how amazing it is, like, you know, to be able to pick yourself up and move so many times. Like it is really incredible. Like, you know, there's not a lot of people that, you know, are actually happy to move more than once in their lives. Like, you know, for a lot of people, actually moving once in their lives is too much of a stress. So for you to have, you know, the guts, for you to have, you know, like the ambition to be able to pick up everybody and to move, like that is a huge ability. So you want to be able to look at the positives of that and recognize the positives. And then what we want to do is teach you that it's actually safe and possible for you to settle. That you can actually be with your husband, that you can be with your children, that you can be with your family, and actually be settled in a place. And knowing what it actually feels like to have a home, knowing what it actually feels like to be in your own home, and what that actually means to you, and that it's safe and possible for you to experience it. The other thing that we want to do there too is knowing that you can actually have your own home and still have growth. So whether it's personal, you know, spiritual, knowing that you can still have that growth on all those levels, but be in your own home at the same time, that it's safe and possible to do that. Right. So let's just download all of those. Okay, cool. What's next?
Okay, the next question is from Shin Hui Ho. Her question is, I've taken your wealth consciousness and DNA through 3 classes, interpreted a couple of times as well. I loved them. They have been very beneficial. I have been feeling pain in my left jaw and molars recently. Did self-digging a few times but didn't help much. I wonder if you could let me know what beliefs are associated with this. Also, is there any belief blocking me from connecting better with the Creator? Thank you.
Okay, very interesting that you've got jaw issues going on, and the last question you ask about is your connection with the Creator. So the bones are about connection to God, and your teeth are an extension of your bones. So basically, teeth and bones are along the same line. So it's all about connection to God. The jaw, though, is, or you know, the mouth is where you start your digestive process. So, you know, the ancients used to call the digestive system as the river of life. But when there was illness, it was the river of death. So if you're putting bad stuff in, it became the river of death. So the mouth is the start of that process, the alimentary canal. So the jaw is what you use to break down your food. So what it is about how you're actually taking in your life experiences. And it's all about your life experiences in relation to the Creator. So feeling, you know, like that the Creator isn't giving you a fair run, or feeling like almost being victimized by the Creator. So what we want to do is just teach you how to live without being victimized by the Creator. Teach you how to live without feeling like the Creator is holding you back, or teach you how to live without thinking that you're not good enough to have a wonderful connection with the Creator. And knowing that having an amazing connection with the Creator is your birthright. Being one with the Creator is your birthright, and that it's safe and possible for you to have that connection, and for you to embrace that connection, and for you to allow that connection to grow. And knowing what it feels like to recognize your intuition, that it's safe and possible for you to relax enough to allow you to recognize how your intuition is coming in. And the other thing that we want to do there too is just teach you how to trust that you do have intuition, and that your intuition is working, and that your intuition is working great, and that it's safe and possible for you to listen to, for you to hear, for you to recognize, for you to see your intuition, and for you to take action on those intuitive messages that are coming in for you. All right, so let's just download that for everybody. Okay, and the other thing we want to do there too is just to, you know, have like discernment on life, knowing how to recognize that life is a gift, knowing how to recognize that you are a gift to this planet, and that you have so much to offer, knowing how to trust that you are here at the right time in the right place, and everything is perfect. Okay, cool. What's next?
Okay, next question is from Christina. She has two types of questions. How to find a long-lasting peaceful home, and how to strengthen self-worth and worthiness. We covered the first one, but maybe particularly to her.
Okay, so what I'm getting there, it's like there's a really importance to actually be close to water. So wherever you decide to live, make sure that there's water nearby. So whether it's, you know, like a lake or an ocean or a beach or whatever it may be, it's really important that there's some sort of water around that you can allow yourself to have water. Sorry. Seems like somebody's downstairs in the stairwell. But all good. Okay. So yeah, what I'm getting is there's a real strong sense of like needing some water around you. So the other thing that I would actually be doing there is like, you know, just allowing yourself to actually relax in one place, because it just feels like there's like this energy around you of always needing to be moving, always having to be doing stuff. So for you to actually have a home, it means you need to relax, and at the moment, like the two don't go together. So let's just teach you what it feels like to relax, what it feels like to be present, what it feels like to be at peace in your home, and that it's safe and possible to have your home, and what it feels like to recognize that you can allow yourself to be settled in one place, that it's safe and possible for you to be settled there, and knowing that you can still travel to all the different destinations that you choose to, that it's safe and possible to do that as well. Okay. So we'll just download all of those. Cool.
Okay, the next question is from Lisa. She'd love some insights, please, on her health. So the question is, for the last 2 years, she's seen her health deteriorate and recently has been diagnosed with an arteriovenous malformation, AVM, perimenopause, and have thyroid nodules and mystery illness. I feel like this disease is in my body and is telling me something. I'm unsure what that is exactly. Could you please help me to understand what is the emotion that is causing this and what areas I truly need to work on in my body, please? I'm 33 with 3 children and feeling it's paramount to look after myself.
Okay. Very interesting. So 33 for like that, to have like perimenopause and a lot of those female related sort of issues going on. What I'd be looking at straight away is just like embracing yourself as a female, but you know, in a lot of cases what happens for people is, you know, they go through their life and like their main goal could be to be in a relationship and then have their children, or, you know, have their family, whatever they're choosing to experience. And all of a sudden, once they achieve those things, it's almost like, well, now I don't have a purpose anymore. So what I want to do is just teach you that you can have like your family, that you can have all the wonderful achievements that you've already had so far, and that you can allow yourself to continue to grow, that you can allow yourself to continue to achieve, that you can allow your definition of success to continue to grow, and that you can allow yourself to love and appreciate yourself as a woman, knowing that you can add value as a woman, like outside of like, you know, the stereotypical motherly aspects of a woman, knowing that you can, you know, be a success in business if you choose to, knowing that you can achieve whatever it is that you desire and that it's safe and possible for you to desire it, but also knowing that you can actually be a wonderful mother and a wonderful wife at the same time, and that it's safe and possible to do that. And let's just teach you how to recognize who you are, being a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife, and teach you what it feels like to love and appreciate yourself for who you are right now. So a lot of the AVI stuff is all related to, like, loving yourself, appreciating yourself, being worthy of being nurtured. Because, like, especially at that age, you've got, 3 children. The world revolves around everybody around you. And it's very easy as a mother and as a woman, to neglect yourself and just be, constantly focused on putting everybody else first. And it's really important that you actually remember that you're amazing, that everybody does rely on you, and that you are important. And so taking care of yourself, doing things for yourself is actually really important. And knowing that it's safe and possible for you to do things for yourself, and that you're worthy and deserving of doing things for yourself as well. So let's just download all of those. Okay, so the other thing that's coming up there is, like, there's this, like, real stress around, like, the structure of life. It probably comes back to, like, the roles of males and females, but, like, it's like there's this structure that life was meant to be, and it's not working the way you imagined it would be at this point in time. And so that's where a lot of that stress is coming in. So let's just teach you how to be flexible, how to relax with the structure of life, and just knowing how to create a structure that works for you and your family, and that it's safe and possible to do that. Cool.
Okay, so the next question is from Evelyn. She'd like to ask for insight and guidance on what's blocking her intuition and knowing what her divine timing is. Thank you for sharing your time and energy, Russell. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so from an intuition perspective, you've actually got really good intuition. Like, your actual intuition is actually quite open. The only issue with your intuition is you're just afraid to see it. You're afraid to really allow it into your life and really embrace it. There's a lot of past life stuff associated, like, a lot of trauma associated with receiving intuition. And the big thing that I get in relation to that is, like, fears about, like, hearing about negative things happening in the environment, or, maybe something, you may get an intuitive message that something bad is going to happen to one of your relatives or something like that, or, somebody that you're close to. And so there's a lot of fears around, getting that sort of information. And if anything, it almost sort of brings up, like, a panic energy if you're gonna receive intuitive messages, and it's gonna be, things that you deem to be negative, right? So what we're going to do there is just give you discernment on that. And the thing is when you're intuitively seeing a person, so what happens in our lives, and it happens to every one of us, and it happens many times throughout our lives, but often we get, like, these death doors. And what happened is like a death door opens up, and it's an opportunity for you to check out. It's an opportunity for you to go back home to the Creator. But the thing is the majority of times in our lives, these death doors are happening, we're not even aware of them. And so there's always a free will associated with those death doors. So you may intuitively see that somebody's, like, energetically out of their body and ready to cross over. But the truth is that is only one possible existence for that person. So that's only one possible option. So there are many possible options, and so that person can change their mind and choose to stay here. Just because you see that doesn't mean that's going to happen. That's just one of the possibilities. And if you do a healing with that person, if you do a healing on yourself, you can actually change that outcome. So don't look at it as a negative, look at it as an opportunity to heal situations. Look at it as an opportunity, as a gift to be able to recognize. So if you knew that, you know, for example, if you had somebody that you loved and you found out that that person was going to pass away in a week's time, how much of a gift is that to be able to actually spend quality time with that person for the next week and to be able to make the most of, you know, every single moment that you've got with that person. And, you know, I don't know if there's too many of us who can actually say we've experienced that. Like, you know, we're actually 100%, you know, present with another person, you know, for that sort of time. So the thing is if you were to have that sort of experience, then what would happen is you'd actually see a whole new way of living life. You'd actually see, like, you know, the most incredible way to live life and the most powerful way to live life. Because if you're actually present in that moment, in every moment, you're going to be living the most incredible life, because nothing's going to get you down. You're just going to see, like, you know, this is a beautiful moment. There could be something really horrible happening, but because you're present in each moment, you're actually letting yourself go beyond it. You're not getting caught up in the past of what that may mean, or you're not getting caught up in the judgment of what that experience is. Being present in the moment is such an incredible gift. And so what we want to do there is just teach you how to recognize that whatever intuitive information is coming to you, it is a gift, and that you can actually be comfortable with whatever is coming, and that you can actually allow yourself to see the positives of all the intuitive information that is coming to you, and that it's safe and possible for you to recognize the positives of everything that's coming to you. So let's just download all of those. And when it comes to your divine timing, we'll also just teach you that it's safe and possible for you to see your divine timing, and that you know how to recognize your divine timing, and that you allow yourself to, you know, make the most of your divine timing. So it feels like you're actually in a divine timing, or you're just starting in a divine timing. So there's things that are coming together for you. Cool. What's next?
Okay, the next question is from Maria. So she's had a hard time setting goals for herself and doesn't have clarity on what she wants in life. She's had hard time making decisions and procrastinating a lot when she has to make a decision. She's done some theta work around setting goals, but obviously not enough. Any insight would be very helpful. So that's her question. Thanks a lot for the feedback lives and practice nights. The last practice night about self-healing was so good. You gave useful guidelines and shared your experience. I'm very grateful for that, for all the knowledge you share, and for the opportunity to follow you from my country, Serbia. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So the issue there with setting goals is not about setting the goals itself. It's about, like, you know, like that, just almost like a terrified feeling of actually getting excited about things. Yeah, so there's actually, like, you know, some real trauma around, like, actually being excited about something and then something really negative taking place. And so, you know, it could have been like, you know, everything was going really great in your life, and then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, something really negative took place. And so, you know, from that point, it's almost like being too traumatic to think about actually setting intentions and creating goals for yourself. And, you know, realistically, you're just sort of stopping yourself from, you know, having any positive experiences when it comes to goal. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the trauma around your past experiences in relation to your goals. Pull the trauma around being disappointed after achieving your goals. And what we're going to do is just teach you that it's safe and possible for you to let go of that trauma, that it's safe and possible for you to let go of your attachment to holding on to those past memories. And what we're going to do is teach you what it feels like to actually allow yourself to recognize what's important to you in your life. that it's safe and possible for you to recognize what you are passionate about, and that it's safe and possible for you to put positive energy towards achieving your intentions, and that you know how to allow yourself to achieve your intentions. Okay, and so the other thing that I'm getting there, it's like if you do achieve something, it's like you have to give it away to everybody else. So even if you receive something really good, it's almost like there's an obligation there of having to give it away. So what we're going to do is teach you how to live without needing to do that, that it's safe and possible to let go of doing that, and who you are without doing that. Okay, cool.
Okay, the next question.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, you're after? Okay, so the next question is from Jacqueline. Basically, her question is, she's obviously just started doing theatre sessions with clients, and her challenge is that when she has the first session with a customer, and she's wondering how she can engage them in terms of the word to use, as in God, Creator, Great Spirit, and also to guide them into this theatre state. And if you can just go there herself without telling them, she's not sure in how to engage the client. She feels like there's a piece missing there. Steps that she's finding it hard to relax because, or the client's finding it difficult to relax because she feels that maybe the way she's explaining it is not correct. So she wants to know how to basically get started working with a client.
Yeah, okay, so it all comes down to confidence, right? So basically when it comes to working with a new person, right, if it's somebody that hasn't experienced theta before, or you know, is new to any sort of healing modality, then the first thing you want to do is just give them a basic understanding of what the technique really is, like, you know, what it's really about. So when I explain theta healing, for example, I tell people that what we're actually doing is accessing a theta brainwave, which allows us to reprogram the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is basically what runs 95% of your life. So the majority of your life is determined by the unconscious part of your mind. And so the unconscious part of your mind is proving your belief systems right. And those belief systems are basically your rules. So your rules around relationships, your rules around health, your rules around finances. And so we create these rules for ourselves. And so that's what our lives are determined by. So if we have a rule, that an unconscious rule, that it is unsafe for us to be happy in a relationship, then A, we're going to keep ourselves away from being in a relationship, or B, we're going to keep ourselves in a relationship where we're not happy. And so what it is, it's actually keeping us safe because it believes the alternative is actually worse. And so when you're working with people for the first time, the most important thing is just to allow that person to relax and allow that person to get started. So one of the key things that I'll test with a new person is to make sure they know how to receive, accept, and keep a healing. And that it's safe and possible to receive, accept, and keep a healing from a man and from a woman. But obviously, because I'm a man, then, you know, like it really is important that, you know, people are comfortable with that, because, you know, like, you know, a lot of women have had negative experiences with men. And then all of a sudden they're coming to this guy who is a healer, and they're going to open up and allow themselves to be, you know, I guess vulnerable to a degree, because like they're opening up to their deepest truths. And if their subconscious is like, you know, we cannot trust men, we cannot, you know, allow a man to get close to us, then they're going to block that healing. And so it's really important that they're able to receive, accept, and keep the healing from a man and from a woman as well, because a lot of people have had negative experiences with women too. So there's some of the basics that you know, are really important, and they're the things that I start with when it comes to, you know, working with a client. And then all I'm doing is just asking them what they want to work on, and they'll tell me the different things they want to work on. And then what I'll do is I'll actually tune in and I'll just ask, you know, Creator, what's the most important thing we need to work on here? You know, what are the belief systems that we need to change for this person? But I'll always go through the digging process. And that is a really important part of this process, because, you know, when a person goes through that step-by-step process and recognizes what their unconscious is thinking, it's actually really powerful, because that allows them to accept that, yes, I understand how I got to this point. I understand how I've created this in my life, and yes, I can change it. Okay.
Fantastic. And just the other question was that, do you actually guide the client into the theta state as you make the changes?
No. So when you're working with a client, all you're doing is you're asking for their permission to make the change. So you identify the belief systems, you identify the feelings that you need to change, and you know what's really important to change there. And then what you do is, once you've got their permission, then that's it. You don't need to say anything else. What you do is you go up into a theta state, you make the command in silence, and then you just witness that process taking place on that client. And that's one of the key things to understand with theta healing is all we're doing is we're going up into that theta brain state. We're making the command or the request to do the healing for that client. And that's all we do. From that point, all we're doing is witnessing that change taking place for that person. So we're actually witnessing the creator doing the healing on that person. So it's not a modality where you've actually got to get in there and you actually do the hands-on healing, where you've actually got to be sending that person the healing. All you're doing is just witnessing that change taking place for that person. And that's why theta healing is so profound, and that's why so many people have had incredible results with theta healing, because it's the creator that's doing the healing. And you know, ultimately, you know, you could be the best healer on the planet, but if your client is not ready to heal, it's not going to happen. And that is the key, because you cannot force anybody to heal. If a person's ready to heal, they're going to heal. Like I had an incredible healing. I had an amazing healing, but I guarantee you it only happened because I was ready to heal. I walked into that healing knowing that I was going to get better. I wasn't hoping it was going to happen, I knew. And so the key is, like, let go of the pressure around having to do everything right when it comes to being a healing session. You know, to be the best healer, all you got to do is you've got to allow yourself to relax and trust that you're getting into the theta state energy, that seventh plane energy. Allow yourself to trust, even if you're not sure if you're getting there or not, doesn't matter. Just allow yourself to trust and have the intention that any commands that you make comes from that energy. And then the next most important thing that you can do is to step out of your paradigm. So get out of your head around what is taking place for that person. You don't need to understand what's happening for that person. You don't need to be able to conceptualize it. You don't need to be able to see it through your eyes. All you're looking to do is to see it through their eyes. And when you step out of your paradigm into your client's paradigm, then all of a sudden what's going to happen is you're going to be able to see their truth. There's not going to be any judgment around it, and that's one of the things that happens sometimes when people do go to healers. You know, they'll open up about their issues and they feel all this judgment, and then all of a sudden they close up and they don't allow themselves to receive any benefit from that healing. If you go to a practitioner and you're feeling judged about your issues, there is no way in the world you're going to allow yourself to really open up there. So as a practitioner, allow yourself to step out of your paradigm. Forget about what issues they have mean to you, because this isn't about you. All you need to do is be able to step into their paradigm, see what's really happening for them. And when you see what's really happening for them, then all of a sudden, like, you know, that person is going to be blown away because you're seeing their truth. And when you're seeing their truth, you're going to be able to change it for them in a much quicker and easier way. And all of a sudden, those changes are going to come in, those changes are going to take place, and that person is going to be amazed. But here's one of the keys. When you do a healing on another person, if you want to guarantee amazing results for that person, then be detached. As long as you are attached to the healing, you'll block it from taking place, right? So here's how it works. So let's say, for example, I do a healing on my friend here who's name is Mr. Water, right? So Mr. Water has a health issue. And I do a healing on Mr. Water. And I really care about Mr. Water, so I want to make sure he heals. So what happens is I do the healing on him and he goes home. So now Mr. Water's gone home. And if I'm sitting there thinking, I hope that healing worked on him, or I need to find out how he's going, then what that means is I don't believe that that healing has taken place. And that's why I need to find out from him what's happening. Because I'm doubting the healing myself. So I'm actually attached to the outcome of that healing. And so as long as I'm attached to the outcome of that healing, I'm going to block that healing from taking place. See, you see how that works. But if I do that healing on Mr. Water, and I know that the Creator has taken care of it, the Creator has done the healing on Mr. Water, I don't need to think about it again. I allow myself to trust and have absolute faith that it's taken place. And then the next time Mr. Water calls me, whether it has taken place or it hasn't, I'm not affecting the outcome. I've actually given him the best opportunity to heal. And that's where it becomes his free will to choose whether he heals or not. So the more detached you are from the healing, the better the results are going to be for you and for your clients. So they're the key things that you know.
That was awesome. Thank you. Okay, so the next question is from Irina. She'd like to know, so her question is, what can we do when our desired manifestations seems a little out of reach? I want to manifest my dream house and pretty soon. I don't want to wait 10 years for it. And right now it seems a big dream and it can feel overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes it feels that I have to accept compromises to get it soon.
Okay, so here's how it works. When you're setting time frames on your manifestations, and what you're doing is you're just setting up like an arbitrary date, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, once that date starts getting close, and all of a sudden you start feeling pressure and you start panicking, and you know, it just creates a lot of negativity around, you know, your manifestations. So one of the things that I do is when I'm setting my intentions, I always write them in the present tense. So it's always I am, I have, right? Because the only moment exists is the eternal moment of now. And so I always write my intentions in the present moment. So what I do is then I start working towards it. So let's say, for example, you know, that new home is something that I don't see happening for another 10 years. But what I do is I allow myself to be open to receiving it. So the thing is right now, I have gratitude for the house that I'm living in. When you have gratitude for what is in your life right now, you open the door and allow yourself to have more. As long as you're resenting the house that you're living in at the moment, then what's going to happen is you're going to block that new home from coming to you, because the universe is going to be like, well, if you don't appreciate the one that you've got now, how can you appreciate the new one? So maybe you need to stay there a bit longer. So that's the first thing that happens. And then the other thing that is really important is that you just start taking action now. So you start taking action now towards achieving your dream home. Now that action is action that you can do right now. It's not something that, you know, like, you know, you can buy and do in 20 years time. So, you know, it's always action that you can take right now. So whether it's actually researching the different areas where you would like to live, or, you know, doing a healing on yourself about believing that it's possible for you to have your dream home. Or maybe it's, you know, setting up a bank account where you put aside 10% of everything that you make, and like as a special savings account that goes towards, you know, doing it. But it's always action that you can do right now. And then what you do is you let go of your attachment to it. So you just allow it to come to you. But the thing is, it may come to you in 3 steps. So you may see another house that is a step up from where you're living. Don't knock that back and think, okay, well, that's not the dream home, so that mustn't be the right thing. Because the thing is once you buy that house, that could be the stepping stone to the next one, right? All you got to do is allow yourself to be open to possibilities, and don't sit there and think that, okay, well, if I end up moving to another house that's not my dream house, that is like a step up along the way, then I'm going to push the other one back. The thing is you might buy that dream, that next step up now, and by buying that house, all of a sudden it's put you into a different energy, and all of a sudden, like, you know, that other home becomes really easy and affordable, because maybe, you know, the new house that you buy has, you know, a gold vein running through the backyard, or maybe it has, you know, like oil there underneath it or something like that. You know, the thing is allow yourself to be open to possibilities. Don't be fixated on thinking it has to be in the way that you want it to come. Allow yourself to be open to possibilities. Allow yourself to be open to that next step. And once you take that next step, as long as you're grateful and you're, you know, content with your life at this time, even though you're expanding and you're allowing yourself to, you know, receive and bring more into your life, you're still content, you're happy, you're loving the moment, you're loving life. And you allow that to grow, and you're going to live the most incredible life. So what we want to do is just teach you how to recognize your manifestations coming to fruition. Teach you how to recognize the steps that are taking place to allow your manifestation to come to fruition, and knowing that it's safe and possible for you to receive your manifestations, knowing what it feels like to allow yourself to be open to receiving your manifestations in many different ways, and letting go of thinking that, you know, you have to do it all yourself when it comes to your manifestations. The other thing that's really important to understand, and this is where a lot of people block their manifestations, is a lot of the times people think that they are the ones who have to get their manifestation, so that, you know, like it has to come through me. I have to do it all. And so the way for me to get my brand new home is to get enough cash to be able to buy that brand new home, right? But as long as you're fixated on thinking that it has to come through cash, then you're going to block the way the universe brings it to you, because you may be manifesting that new dream home. And you may have a friend who has a friend who just won a competition. And in that competition, they get this brand new dream home. And they've already got their dream home, and they have no interest in this dream home, and they're looking to give it to somebody. But if you have a belief that you have to do it all yourself, then you're going to block that friend coming to you and saying, hey, I've got somebody who wants to give you this house. The universe can deliver your abundance in many different ways. Let go of your attachment of thinking how it's going to come to you, or trying to control how it's going to come to you. As long as you have faith. So the important steps in the process are: 1, you know exactly what it is that you desire with as much detail as possible. If you're manifesting that new home, know what sort of flowers you would like to have in your garden. Know what color the walls are in your house. What sort of paintings would you like to have in your house? What artwork would you like to have in your house? What furniture? Go into as much detail as possible. And once you have that detail, create an image in your mind of already having it. When you have that image in your mind that you already have it, you put into action your manifesting steps, and it's the fastest way that you'll actually receive your manifestations, is allowing yourself to step into the knowing that you already have it. When you believe that you already have it, when you live right now like you already have your manifestation, then it will show up in your life very quickly. And then what you need to do is you need to take action. Action is a really important step. Action enables reception, but it doesn't create it. If you don't do the first steps, action is just going to be hard work. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they put so much action into what they're doing, and their dreams aren't coming together. And that's because they're not clear on what the actual dream is. When you are really clear on what the dream is, then your action actually becomes amplified and will bring your results a lot quicker. But as long as you're putting all the hard work in and you don't have a clear picture of what you're actually desiring, you're just going to create a lot of frustration, a lot of hard work for yourself. Okay, so let's just teach you how to take those steps, that you know how to recognize those steps for yourself in your own life, and that you know how to recognize those steps in relation to your manifestation, that you know how to be clear on how to create a clear image in your mind, that you know how to create detail in your manifestation, and that you allow yourself to take positive action towards achieving your manifestation. So let's just download all of those.
Beautiful.
Okay, cool. So what's it?
Okay, so the next question is from Vianna Stibal. Basically, she'd like you to do a scan and do a healing on the following issue. I struggle with my weight. I have always been puffy, but in last year I gained some kilos. I'm afraid I will continue to grow in centimeters. I'm a vegetarian, almost vegan. I just want to release weight with ease and with joy of eating without the fear of getting fat and ugly. Being healthy at the same time. I do not know how I will be feeling being fit and attractive, but I want to give it a try.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to work out what your ideal weight is, right? And then start telling yourself that you are your ideal weight. That's the first step. The next step that you need to do is you need to stop stressing about what it is that you're eating. Because if you're eating like, vegetarian and, predominantly vegan, then you're putting the right things into your body. But what happens is there's obviously a stress around what you're eating. So the thing is you may be forcing yourself to be vegetarian, and that could be where the issues are coming from. It doesn't mean that you have to eat meat, but as long as you feel like you're forcing yourself to eat in a particular way, then there is a suppression. So what's happening is the subconscious is thinking, okay, well, we're not allowed to have these other types of foods that we really like. And so all of a sudden, like, we're being suppressed. So you know what? I need to stockpile on all of this sort of food that I don't like, because I don't know when, the famine's going to come, and all of a sudden it creates this unconscious stress of thinking that, we need to bring on as much as possible, because if we've cut that out of our diet, then what's happened is, there's a chance that this could be cut out of the diet as well. And so, we may end up with nothing. So the body unconsciously tries to put all this extra weight on just in case, like, there's a famine that comes along and, you need those extra fat stores to survive. And, because our ancestors didn't know where their next meal was coming from in a lot of cases. And so there was cause for that sort of stress. But what we want to do is just teach you how to be relaxed with your food. Teach you how to recognize the right things for you to eat, for you, the right things that are going to benefit your body, and the right things that are going to give you the nourishment, the energy, and, the rejuvenation that your body needs. Knowing how to allow your body to metabolize your food correctly. Knowing how to absorb all the vitamins and minerals that you need from your food. And knowing that your body excretes all the waste products in a loving and easy way. And knowing what it feels like to have a healthy body. And the other thing that's important there is actually being able to love your body, love and appreciate your body the way it is. And that it's safe and possible for you to love and appreciate your body the way it is. Okay, so let's just download all of those. And the other thing that we want to do is just teach you that it's safe and possible for you to allow yourself to have clear communication as a woman, that you can express your values, that you can express the things that are important to you, and that it's safe and possible for you to have freedom of expression, and that you're worthy and deserving of being able to freely express yourself. So knowing what it feels like to be heard, knowing what it feels like to be listened to, and that it's safe and possible to be heard and listened to.
Okay, so the next question is from Owena Ketsapalu. So sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, so there's two Owenas. Her question is about allergies. So I'm currently having a flare up. How can I get over this? This is the first one in over a year. I'm not sure if it's due to a specific irritant or more stress related, perhaps maybe both. I just have a lot going on at the moment. I need to find a new house, a new job, probably, and I miss my family, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to visit. I also, so that's it. So.
Yeah, okay, so that allergy is definitely all stress related. So basically what I'm seeing there is like, because your stress levels are really high, your immune system is like just constantly in the fight attack mode, and so it's not really dealing with with the new things that are coming into the environment and stuff like that, because like that allergy that you're experiencing, like under normal circumstances, like would be really minor and you wouldn't even feel it. it wouldn't be an issue at all. So what we're going to do is just teach you how to live without feeling like you're constantly under attack. Teach you how to live without having to fight for your life. Teach you how to live without having to fight for your freedom and having to fight to live the life of your dreams. Teach you what it feels like to actually be worthy and deserving of living the life of your dreams. Teach you what it feels like to be worthy of life, and that you deserve a wonderful and happy life, and that it's safe and possible for you to actually experience that. And just teach you what it feels like to actually be relaxed with life. Okay, and the other thing that we want to do is just I'm just getting like there's like a lot of frustration or irritation with like a mother, but also like, you know, like with a boss. I'm not sure if she mentioned that she's in a job.
No, she's looking for one, or she feels that she's got to look for, she's need to find a new house, a new job probably. So whether she's in one or not, she's saying I need.
So what I'm
job.
picking up there is in relation to the boss. It's almost like, you know, like the frustrations you normally have with your mother, you've found your boss to fill that role for you. So what we want to do is just teach you how to live without needing to be frustrated with somebody. Teach you how to live without needing to be, you know, stressed out with somebody. And teach you how to live without needing, you know, people to trigger your adrenals. Teach you how to live without needing to get angry in the morning so that you can have the energy to be able to get through the day. Teach you what it feels like to be calm and relaxed, and what it feels like to be energized and to be able to enjoy each day of your life, and that it's safe and possible for you to enjoy each day of your life. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the next question is from Sandy. So she has a problem with her normal walking gait. It feels like every 200 meters or so, she seems to be losing her balance and stepping to the left. This is completely unconscious, and I've had no injuries or symptoms of back issues of any kind. Has only developed very recently. I have a feeling I could be a bit disconnected or unbalanced in my base chakra, but I'm not sure why. Can you tune in and have a look for me,
please? Okay, so what I'm getting there is, you know, this sort of thing is really common for a lot of people, right? So what happens is like, you know, the medical system in general doesn't really acknowledge the value of muscles, right? So what happens is a person may cork their thigh. So what happens is they cork their right thigh, and they bump it against, you know, a wall or something like that, or, you know, a chair or something, and it hurts for that, you know, little bit. So it's a little bit painful, and then what happens is it goes. But what's happened now is that muscle is locked up. So all of a sudden now that muscle doesn't have the movement that it used to. It's tightened now. And so what's happening is the left leg is going to have to now compensate for the right leg, because the right leg is limited because that muscle is locked up. So now the left leg is actually doing more because it's having to compensate for the right leg. And so all of a sudden, like, you know, like the left leg's muscles are using muscles and doing activities that they're not used to doing, that they were programmed to be actually doing. And so what happens is all of a sudden we've got this pain in our left leg, and all of a sudden we're, you know, got this really sore left leg, and we're going to the, you know, the doctors to find out what's going on, or we're going to, you know, get the left leg massaged, and we're doing all this work on the left leg, but the real issue is the right leg. So even if we were to heal or fix the left leg, the issue is still there in the right leg, so that the left leg is still going to have to overcompensate. So what I'm seeing there is like a lot of what's going on for you is muscular. So I do see something in your right quad, right? So there's a bit of energy locked up there in the right quad. But what I would actually be focusing on is your abductor muscles. And so the abductor muscles run from your groin down to your knee, basically. Those, and if you touch those muscles on the inside of your leg, you'll probably find that it's actually really painful. but the abductor muscles are what, allow you to, have your proper structure and stance in life. And so if that's out of balance, then you're going to find that like every time you get 200 meters down the road, you've got that misstep, right? So basically what's happening is like in your life, you get to a certain distance and then all of a sudden things sort of don't go as planned. And so what we want to do is we want to change that mindset. Let's just teach you how to step out of your old patterns. Let's just teach you what it feels like to actually love and appreciate your body. Teach you what it feels like for your muscles to be relaxed. Teach you what it feels like to have the strength to move forward in your life. Teach you what it feels like to allow yourself to have positive growth and allow that positive growth to continue to grow. That it's safe and possible for you to allow your positive growth to continue, and that you know what it feels like for that positive growth to continue. The other thing that we want to do is just teach you what it feels like to stand up for yourself. Teach you what it feels like to trust that you have that connection with the Creator, to trust that you have the answers in your life and that it's safe and possible for you to get those right answers for yourself. Right. So let's just download those and we'll see if there's anything else. What's next?
Okay, so our last question for the evening is for Trish. So she'd like you to tune into her body as she's had terrible pain in her left hip and knee after she stacked it on a bike on the 12th of February while she was away. And she thinks she's released the resentment that because she was reluctant to go from the beginning. So she has a huge lump under her left kneecap and feel there may be inflammation around the knee as well. It's affecting her whole body now, both hips, knees, and now her feet and lower back, and now neck as well. She got woken up during the night with the pain, mostly in her left side of her body. She's feeling fatigued from it all. Is it structure in my life I need to work on, past regrets or decisions that I've made in the past that I resent, or would you mind giving her some sort of starting point so she can move on from what she's attracted in her physical body, please? So she'd be grateful for this.
Cool. So first thing I would do is have a magnesium bath. Right? If you don't have access to a bath at your own place, find access to somebody and have like a magnesium bath. What you need to do is you need to allow your muscles to relax. There is so much tension built up in your muscles. And the thing is, those muscles aren't being released. They're not able to relax. You're not able to let go of all that tension that's there. If you come to Sydney, I can direct you to a couple of people who are actually really good that'll be able to help you with that.
Beliefs, can she work on?
Yeah, I know what beliefs, but I'm just telling her what she needs to heal, right? But I'm just telling her that, it's look, a lot of it is, the thing is, right, the thing you got to understand, right, is it's a holistic approach, right? So we can change our belief systems, and yes, the muscles will relax and you can allow the body to completely heal itself, right? But sometimes you've done enough with the beliefs, you've done all the belief changes that you need to make, and sometimes you just need that physical relaxation. You need that physical touch, that physical connection of somebody getting in there and massaging the muscles, right? And the thing is when somebody is actually massaging you, what you're doing is you're showing the universe that you're actually important, that you're worthy of having that time out for yourself. And so to a degree, what you're actually doing is pampering yourself with that massage. And so that you're showing the universe that you're worthy of love, that you deserve to be loved, and that it's safe and possible for you to be loved. And so sometimes, you may have changed everything that you need to, or maybe you just need to show the universe that you are special, and allow yourself to go and get a massage. Allow yourself to have that time out where you have that physical release. And so when I will go for a massage every week. And it's really important because the majority of the times when I go for my massage, I actually have like a 2-hour massage. So I will go there, and a lot of the times what I actually try to do when I first get there is fall asleep, right? because the massage that I go to is not your average massage. I like the really deep tissue. And so to the point where like you're grabbing the bed because you're in so much pain when they're actually releasing, you know, the tension in those muscles. And here's like the really interesting thing, right? So let's say, for example, you have tension in your quad and you touch it and it's really sore, right? So if that muscle is sore and then a masseuse comes along and they start massaging that muscle, it feels even more painful. But here's the key, right? If they push the blood from the top of that muscle down to the bottom, right, and it's going to be painful, right, but they push it all the way through, then what happens is that tension releases from that muscle. And then I guarantee you, like, you know, straight away, you don't feel the pain anymore. And so that's one of the keys to it, because like the thing is, when your muscles are working properly, your bones are going to be in alignment. Your bones are going to be able to be in the right spots. A lot of the people that end up with knee reconstructions or, you know, hip replacements, a lot of those people didn't actually need it. It was just their muscles were locked up and they didn't allow themselves to unlock those muscles soon enough. And then it becomes like, you know, over a period of time, those bones get worn out because they're in the wrong position and they're not operating in the way that they should be. But taking care of your muscles is really important, right? So having a magnesium bath, you know, Vianna, every day when she teaches a class, she goes and has a magnesium bath afterwards, like, you know, with Epsom salt. It's really important to take care of your physical body. So do those things, right? And they're the things that you really need to hear, because I know Trish actually does do a lot of work on herself. Right? So that's what she really needs to hear, right? But I'll give you the beliefs as well. So what we want to do is just teach you what it feels like to release your resentment towards the past, right? So what it is like you had resentment for a particular situation. You didn't want to go on that particular situation and you did what you needed to. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, you do something, you injure yourself, and now the resentment turns towards yourself. So you forgive the other person, but it's almost like needing to have resentment for that situation. So like making an oath vow or contract to hold on to resentment to that past. So what we're going to do is just release any oaths, vows or contracts that you've made in relation to resenting that past, in relation to resenting, you know, actually being or putting yourself in that position. Teach you what it feels like to forgive yourself and forgive everybody else who was involved in that whole scenario. And teach you how to recognize the positives in this experience. Yes, so you've fallen over on your bike, you've, you know, injured your body and stuff like that. Look for the positives. What are the positives that have come out of this? Maybe all of a sudden now you've actually gotten out of doing a few things, but on top of that, you've actually started really looking within and actually taking more time out for yourself, time to appreciate yourself. And that's one of the really important things that we as healers fail to do. We're so focused on fixing everybody else or helping everybody else that we neglect ourselves. And so sometimes, you know, the universe will give us like these opportunities where we have like, you know, some sort of, you know, setback, and that allows us to take the time out for ourselves. It allows us to value ourselves. So what we want to do is teach you that you can value yourself, that you can appreciate yourself without needing to have physical pain, without needing to have a physical problem, without needing to have some sort of emotional stress in your life, and that it's safe and possible for you to live the most incredible life in joy, and that you don't need resentment, that you don't need to be punishing yourself for good things happening to you, that you can allow yourself to be present in the moment, and that you can see the benefits in every moment. So let's just download all of those things.
It's great for everybody.
Okay, and so the other things that we want to do now is just teach you what it feels like to recognize and trust your intuition. Teach you what it feels like to recognize like the next steps in your path. Teach you what it feels like to have vision for your future, and what it feels like to be confident that your future will come together, knowing that, you know, what it feels like to have confidence that you are in the right place at the right time, and that it's safe and possible for you to move forward from this point forward. And teach you what it feels like to embrace change, that it's safe for you to have positive change in your life, and that you know how to allow positive change into your life. Right, so downloads were just for everybody, so it wasn't specifically for anybody there. It was just tuning into the whole group and seeing what everybody needed. Okay, cool. Okay, so are there any other questions?
That's it.
That was it?
That concludes our evening on all our questions this evening. So
Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll do an unconditional love healing. I'm going to talk you up into a theta way, into a theta state. And once we get up into the sparkly white light, which is the theta state, we're going to make a command, and that command is to send you, your family, everybody watching this, their families, and anybody else that we're aware of that can do it some healing at the moment. If you have some friends or family that need some healing, then just type their names in to the chat box and we'll actually include them all in it. And you know, like to anybody around the world who's going through hardship, I know you know the Russia-Ukraine situation is really terrible for so many people. You know, not just people in those countries, but external. Like there's a lot of Russians, there's a lot of Ukrainians outside of those two countries, and you know, like they're feeling a lot of real hardship at the moment. So, you know, they're in our prayers. You know, there's stuff happening in Hong Kong at the moment. So, you know, praying for all the people there. And you know, there was a few weeks ago there was a Chinese aeroplane that crashed, and a number of people were killed with that. And I'm not aware of whatever else is happening around the world today. There's so much happening, but I avoid media. But okay, so if you just close your eyes and visualize energy coming up from the center of the earth, coming up through your feet, and coming up out of the top of your head as a beautiful ball of light. See yourself in that ball of light, and see yourself moving straight up past the universe. And as you go past the universe, you go through all these white lights. There are many white lights. Keep going. And then you'll come up into a golden light. This is the home of the Ascended Masters. And as you go through that golden light, you'll come up into a thick watery-like substance like jelly. It has all the colors of the rainbow in it. You may see different shapes. This is the laws of the universe. And as you go through that, you'll come up into a sparkly white light. And as you go into it, it feels tingly throughout your body. Allow yourself to feel every cell in your body one with that tingly white light, that pure unconditional love. Okay, and so if you just repeat to yourself after me, Creator, it is requested to fill every cell of my body, my family, everybody watching this presentation, their families, all the people in Russia and the Ukraine, all the Russians and Ukrainians around the world, all the people in Hong Kong, the people in China, and anybody else that we're aware of that can do with some unconditional love at this time, including my dear friend Maura. Fill every cell of their bodies with unconditional love. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. So now allow yourself to witness that unconditional love coming down and filling every cell of your body and everybody else that we mentioned. Just remember they have free will to accept it. So if they accept it, it's great. If they don't accept it, it's great. Just allow yourself to witness and watch whether they take it in. Just allow yourself to focus on that unconditional love coming in through every cell in your body. Okay, now just take your awareness back up into that pearl iridescent white light. Feel every cell in your body one with that pure unconditional love. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. And then take a deep breath in and open your eyes. Cool. So really like to thank you all for the opportunity of sharing this time with you all. If you've benefited from the healings, let us know. We really appreciate your feedback, and we do get a lot of really amazing feedback all the time. So
thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you letting us know, because it's an honor to be able to share this time with you, and you know, it's a gift for us to be able to share your journey and to be able to make that little bit of difference in your lives, and you know, that's part of our purpose, it's part of our passion, and we are, you know, very excited about making that difference in people's lives. And so thank you for the opportunity of allowing us to be with you tonight.
Absolutely. Just a quick few little announcements for those who are interested. We have our free healing workshop that will be streamed online tomorrow evening. So if you're new to Theta Healing, or you want to do a refresher, or you want to know and understand a little bit more on how Theta Healing works, that's a great workshop to participate. So Mark will go into a little bit more depth in understanding how Theta Healing works and how it can benefit you. You'll also learn a bit of some of the stuff that you would actually learn in the actual course, the basic Theta Healing course, which is our 3-day workshop. And in fact, that's coming up at the end of the month. So that's a 3-day workshop, and if you want to learn how to do Theta Healing on yourself or others, that is an absolute game changer. Like it's phenomenal to learn how to be able to work on yourself, and it's really easy, fun, and the changes are permanent. It's just amazing. So if you're interested in that 3-day workshop, that's at the end of the month. But join us tomorrow evening, and that'll give you a deeper insight into what Theta Healing is and how it works, etc. And you also get to experience an energy clearing session, so you'll be able to clear your energy for the night as well. What else have we got coming up? We've got the Advanced, and we've got Dig Deeper and You and the Creator in May. So check out our website. All the details are up on our website, or inboxes for more information. And then in June, you've got Intuitive Anatomy.
Well, in May, we've got Wealth Consciousness as well.
Oh yes, and they're also in Taiwan, so that'd be Chinese translation. But the second half of the year, we've got some really great Wealth Consciousness classes all around the world. We've got Switzerland in July, we've got Philippines, we've got Japan coming up in the second half of the year, the UK, so there's a lot happening. I think we also have Malaysia and South Africa towards the end of the year, so there's so much happening. And if you'd like more information, feel free to give inboxes or email us, and we'd be happy to help you. We're also looking at adding Inner Circle in the second half of this of the year, and You and Your Significant Other. So some really great workshops coming up. So yeah, cool. And we look forward to catching up with you next time on our Q&A session. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. Good night.
Good night.